Bob ein again, croeso y gwasanaeth. Good morning, Year 11, and welcome to this, our third virtual assembly. I hope that you are well and that your families are well and that you are looking after your physical and your mental well-being during this challenging period. If you are finding it tough, and you won't be alone in finding it tough, please do reach out for support to either Mr. Miller, myself, or your phone tutor. I'm very glad to see that lots of you have engaged with the Google Classroom. If you haven't done so already, I please encourage you to do so, as we're using that platform to take prom award nominations and to gather pictures and memories for the year. If you don't know your hub login, or if you require the Google Classroom code, please email Mr. Miller or myself. Now, today's assembly is going to be focused on the subject of equality. In the news recently, you may have heard more about the Black Lives Matter movement following the inhumane death of George Floyd in America last week. Now, this has led to widespread protests and condemnation across the US and the rest of the world. This, coupled with the fact that June is National Pride Month, which celebrates the heritage of the LGBTQ+ community and their triumphs over adversity, makes this the opportune moment for us to learn more about equality and how to promote it. I'd like to start by sharing with you the definition of equality. I think it is always important to know the definition of a word before you can start to discuss it. That way you can understand it better in different contexts. Now, some of you may have heard of or used the word previously, maybe in terms of gender equality or racial equality. Now, in both of those examples, you are referring to a specific group of people wanting equal status, equal rights, equal opportunity to others. So I have a question for you, Year 11, and I'd like you to think carefully about your answer to this. Is everyone in the UK treated equally? And if not, why? Now, as you think about that, the answer to that question, it might well depend upon the time a person was born. Levels of equality have changed dramatically over time. If we went back to just over 100 years ago, women were unable to vote here in the UK. More recently than that, if you go to countries like America and other countries, Black, Asian, and minority ethnic groups are viewed as second-class citizens. And if you go even more recent than that, 2013 to be exact, gay marriage was still viewed as illegal here in Wales. So I'm going to change my original question slightly. Is everybody in the UK treated equally now? And if not, why? Now, your answer to that question may well depend upon your own experiences. But please try and remember that there are people of different genders, people of different races, people of different religious beliefs, disabilities, sexualities. Would the answer be the same for all of those? On the screen are some statistics from the last 5 years of specific examples of inequalities experienced by different groups in the UK. Now, if you've experienced inequality yourself, you will know that it can often cause the person affected to feel extremely anxious, angry, frustrated, depressed, or to have a low self-esteem, all of which goes to further alienate that person from society. Now, it's important to note the levels of equality are clearly much better than they have been at certain points in time. New laws have come into place to see to that. But these statistics, which are just a handful from many that I could have chosen, indicate that there are still levels of inequality here in the UK today. So that begs the question, Why is this still the case? Well, sadly, inequality will always exist as long as there's discrimination. And discrimination occurs when someone feels an irrational sense of hatred or fear towards someone or some group, or if there's somebody misusing their power. But here's the thing. Hatred is not something you are born with, it's something that you learn. So if you can learn to hate somebody, you can also learn to do the opposite, just to love somebody. Fear can also cause discrimination, particularly fear of the unknown, maybe a different culture. But again, fear can be overcome with education. If you learn about that culture, if you learn about that sexuality, you are less likely to discriminate against people who see it or who believe in it. The misuse of power is a bit more difficult, and it's sometimes referred to as institutional racism, institutional inequality. Now, again, through education, you can notice the signs of institutional inequality, and you can see to challenge it and to make sure that it's not taking place around you. And if we can limit the amount of discrimination taking place, we can go some way to achieving greater levels of equality for all. Now, at this point, I'd like to share with you an advert by Nike which looks at inequality, and it's trying to promote equality for all through sport.
Is this the land history promised? Here, within these lines. Here, you're defined by your actions, not your looks or beliefs. Equality should have no boundaries. The bonds we find here should run past these lines. Opportunity should not discriminate. All should bounce the same of everyone. Glory should outshine color. If we can feel here, we can be equal everywhere.
A very powerful advert there from Nike, trying to promote equality for all through sport. Sport is a great champion of equality, brings together people from different religious beliefs, racial backgrounds, economic backgrounds, into one team where they're all treated as equals. But even sport has its flaws. One of the sports stars of the video, Megan Rapinoe, is a US women's soccer player. But she has recently been a court case against the US government, or the US Football Federation rather, to try and receive equal pay to the male players. In the Premier League, there are no openly gay players. So this highlights that there's still work to be done, even in sport, to make sure everyone is treated. Now, many of you will probably sat there wondering how you can make a difference, or how you can show solidarity with any of these groups. Well, the first thing you can do is this: educate yourself and others. That might include reading a book, it might mean watching a film or a program about a different group, or it might be talking to others. But please, if you are going to talk to other groups, make sure you are sensitive about their maybe differing opinions to you. Secondly, you can support these groups. It might be being a friendly face. It might be supporting charities that raise awareness about the inequalities these groups suffer. Thirdly, speak out. It's important that you challenge people who discriminate. You can either challenge them directly if you feel comfortable, or seek out a teacher or police officer if you need to pass it on to somebody else. And finally, accept that you might get it wrong. Either inadvertently or advertently, some point in your life you might have discriminated against someone. And nobody is perfect, but as long as you accept that you are not perfect, but strive to be better, then that will go some way to making a fairer, more equal society. I'd like to finish this assembly today by promoting the work we already do here at Cymraeg High School with regards to equality. Now, these include the running of school councils, where learners have the opportunity to share their ideas and their views to shape the school moving forward. It's our commitment to providing wheelchair ramps and other specialist equipment to make sure pupils with disabilities can access education. Our commitment to challenging any form of discriminatory behaviour and the sanctions that come with it. And finally, the work that our fantastic ASD-based and hearing impaired-based do with the pupils that have either physical or mental disabilities to make sure that they have the same access to education as everybody else. We, as should you, take pride in each of these. However, we do realise that as a community we can do more, and we therefore strive to do better. Hopefully, this assembly has developed your understanding of equality, and it might have inspired you to maybe educate yourself further. If so, I will put up in a moment a list of charities that have information packs about different disabilities, different races, different religious beliefs, so that you can further your education. Lovely seeing you, Year 11. I hope you're all well. Have a lovely week, and see you soon. Bye-bye.